Welcome to tfg360, making your management system work for you. tfg360 is an innovative and proprietary system coordinating all of your different activities and making your business actually work for you. My name is Dirk Dieters. I'm the Executive Director of the Fremont Group. The Fremont Group is a nonprofit organization. We've been working with small business owners for the past 20 years. We have a number of functions. We provide small business management consulting, mentoring. We provide a blog with all sorts of materials that you can subscribe to. I have a website, tfginfo.org, and we do regular webinars, the Minding My Own Business Management Series. The Minding My Own Business Management Series is based upon a book which I wrote called Minding My Own Business, and it goes through and looks at the 6 responsibilities of the small business owner. This has led us in our work with over thousands of companies over the years, has led us to tfg360. It's a proprietary integrated system which is going to have a tremendous impact on your business. So let's take a look. Typically, our clients have built successful businesses. You work very hard to do so. You have had to do everything possible and within the business at one point to allow yourself to get to where you are right now. Some of it was luck. Luck is involved in everyone, and that's okay. But then from there, you continue to build it. At first, you provided the operations, then you had to do the accounting, and then you had to do whatever else it was. Sometimes you didn't even take a paycheck. But now you are successful. Much of your success has been a result of your ability to put out fires. You're the ultimate fireman. You have looked at different challenges daily as to how are we going to deal with our sales and marketing? How are we going to deal with our operations? How are we going to deal with our people? How are we going to deal with our accounting and IRS and all of the different functions and things that take place that you have to deal with? And one by one, you have put out fires and you have been tremendously good at it, and my compliments to you. You are certainly a survivor, and you are doing better than almost anyone else to try. They say 7 out of 10 small businesses that start go out of business in the first year. And of the ones that survive, 50% of those go out of business in the next 3 years. So you are definitely a survivor. You're ahead of the curve. And you should be, like I said, you should be very proud of that. But let's look at how your company has been built and what you've had to do to get there. And should it be changed? What is it doing? What is is it costing you anything? How can we get better? What do we have to do to get better and get bigger? That's what we're going to look at. Whether you know it or not, you have built a management system. You have a system of how you manage your business. And in every management issue, there are 3 functions that you have to address. And that is, how do you get your work in? How do you get your work out? And how do you keep track of it? Getting the work in is sales. Most of you were pretty good at sales initially, certainly, and still are, because if you hadn't attracted enough work, you wouldn't be here right now, and you are. But what is your sales system? How have you delegated that out? And you've probably maybe even brought in consultants to look at your sales. You've looked at other people, and if you've done it properly, you've built a system there where you have people identifying your leads, you qualify your leads, you close your leads, and then you do customer service to come back. All of that generating the kind of work and volume that you're trying to do. And if there's been a problem in sales, you've gone in there and you've put out that fire. How do you get the work out? That second function. The second function is operations, and it involves people. People do whatever they want. And so you've had to incentivize them and figure out how to get them to do what you wanted them to do. There's a management saying that the task of management, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm not going to be exactly correct, but it's basically getting other people to do something that they wouldn't ordinarily do and enjoy doing it. And it's a challenge. And what are your systems for whatever it is you're doing? How do you get the work out the door? How do you produce it? And when there's been an issue and a bottleneck, you've thrown money at it, you've dealt with it, and you've changed it, sometimes had to do it yourself, pushed other people into it, whatever it's been, you have put out the fires in operations, and you do every day. And then lastly, how do you keep track of it? Your admin and your accounting. Obviously, this has to be done. And you might have started off doing it yourself, and you may have run your wife or your brother-in-law or sister-in-law or somebody like that, and then you have turnover of different things, and you've grown from doing a couple of spreadsheets to QuickBooks or wherever you are right now, and you have a constant challenge there, and when somebody quits or something changes, you have to keep addressing that, and you've done a good job of it. But what you've created in putting out the fires in all three of those different areas is a management system. That is the way, your management system is the way that you run your business. How do you manage your business? And as we're going to see, every management system has some limitations. You only can profitably process X amount of work because of the way you manage. What our success partners often do with our clients, a little bit sidelight, is we look at those three different areas and we identify all those tasks, and we do what we call a quantitative analysis of functionality and make sure those tasks are assigned to the right people, and you have your people held accountable and create incentives and so on and so forth. And that goes for sales, that goes for operations, and it goes for administration. The closer you have been to that, the smoother your system has run. But again, you've built each one of these separately. Sometimes you've been real strong in sales, sometimes you've been real strong in operations, sometimes you've been real strong in accounting, sometimes you've been weak in accounting, sometimes you've been weak in operations, sometimes you've been weak in sales. You simply have had to adjust to whatever the situation was at that time. And again, congratulations, you're ahead of the game and you're doing well. But what has happened in those three functions is that they tend to grow in silos. What do I mean by that? Okay, you have a silo of sales. You have the sales organization over here on one side that generates sales and does this closing and so on and so forth, and they bring that work in. Okay, well, how does that relate to your operations? Okay, is there a coordination between operations and sales? Is there a coordination between either of those and your accounting? All of these have grown because they've grown as need existed for them. And so again, sometimes they're strong in one area, they're weak in another, and so on. You adjusted it and went back and forth. But these three areas are usually kept separate by owners because of the way they have to address them. What tfg360 is going to do is we're going to step back and coordinate all three of those areas and create a management system that works for you. Every management system creates some constraints. The way you manage your company will create a restraint in the amount of work that you can profitably process. How much work can you profitably process? I hear business owners all the time talk about, well, geez, we don't want to grow because if we grew, we couldn't handle, we couldn't, more employees, and I couldn't handle them, or we couldn't do this, or we couldn't do that. That's because of the way you manage the business. Maybe you think you're taking too many hours, you're working too long. Okay, you're doing $2 million a year. Well, there's people doing $20 million a year, and they aren't working 10 times the number of hours you are. They have a different management system. What are the constraints that your management system produces? Well, number one is sales volume. The way you do it, you can only profitably process, you can only get so much work through because simply the amount of time, the way things are kept track of, inefficiencies can be created by having too much sales. Secondly, it's lost profit. You are constraining your profitability because you have people out there basically saying, I'd like to give you more work, and you're saying, no, I can't take it because I can't profitably do it. Okay, so you're just not making as much money as you deserve to make because you've been good and you've done things so well, but you just aren't taking full advantage of what you have created out there because you're constraining the amount of profit that you can make. Excuse me. And then lastly, and most importantly in a lot of cases, Your personal relationships are being constrained. You're probably putting too much stress on yourself. You're putting in too much time. You're doing other people's jobs instead of your own. The constraints on your personal relationships can lead ultimately, I suppose, to family breakups and all sorts of things. But if nothing else, just the amount of time and stress, it's just almost getting, I hear some owners talk that it's just not worth it because they have to work so hard to do it. And as the owner, as successful as you've been, you deserve to be the highest paid person. You deserve to have time off. You deserve to do these things. And yet, so often it's your employees taking the time off. It's your employees making more money. Doesn't make sense. But the constraints of your management system can limit your sales, they can limit your profitability, and they can limit your life. So what does tfg360 do? What we do is coordinate the functions of sales, operations, and accounting. We put it together so that they work together and they complement each other. Many people will market to you solutions for sales. You have these sales consultants all over the place that want to come in and they will help you with your sales. Some of them are excellent, and you will increase your sales. You will have people come in and help you, or even you will identify solutions to your operations, things you can do that will allow you to get the work out the door better, that will take care of your people better, that will create incentives, that will deal with your accountability of your employees, all of these different things. And there's a whole school of people that market management consulting just to your operations in your particular field. And then lastly, oh, for heaven's sakes, there are people who will want to outsource your bookkeeping, they want to outsource your tax, they want to outsource your payroll, all of these different functions. Everybody I just mentioned are very good at what they do, and they actually help, and they can make a difference, but they don't talk to each other. They don't coordinate the system into one. You need to have your managerial accounting supporting your operations and supporting your sales. If you don't have that coordination, you are giving away sales, you're giving away profit, you're giving away part of your life, and you're not taking advantage of the opportunity that you've created in starting this successful business you have. Only tfg360 creates with you a management system that coordinates all three of those functions. It makes a difference in your profitability, it makes a difference in your life. We reduce stress, we give you more time so that you can be doing the things that you're supposed to be doing and taking advantage of your skills so that the business can grow and your quality of life can improve right along with it. Okay, sounds good, you say, all right? How does it work? What are you really going to do for us? Well, here's how it works. There's basically 3 steps. Number 1, we do a business assessment. We come in for a day and a half, one of our success partners, the person who has been there and done that. On the first day, we meet you, we meet your people, we identify your culture, we go through your books and records, we do an analysis of your income statements and balance sheets, how you're running the business, get to know you, get to know the place. Go back that evening, do some analyzing of it, talk to other success partners in the evening, and then come back in, and on the second day, we identify and agree with you what the issues are that you have in the friction points and bottlenecks in your management system, and together we develop the second thing, which is an action plan. The action plan is, what are you going to do about this thing? How is it going to get done? Who's going to do it? How is it going to be put together? What needs to be done? In that action plan, one of the first places we have to look is places you can save money, and are you getting the information that you have to have? Oftentimes, this involves a recommendation for our accounting system department level. To come in, and so that we can, at much cheaper than what you're doing it right now, I'm sure, get your books done, get it done consistently and accurately, but also coordinate with your accounting the reports that your operations and your sales need on a regular basis, so that they can more efficiently perform their functions. But many consultants say they will come in, many of the peak mentors will say they're doing this, but what's really critical is the ongoing relationship that comes out of it. We don't just do this, we identify the action plan, and then we continue to work with you every week. Every week, a Zoom schedule is set up. You're given assignments. We follow up on things, and that way we can hold you accountable to the change, and we can make sure you're constantly moving forward. If it's required, we'll come back in again. But it's an ongoing relationship, and that is absolutely critical to the implementation of anything being done. If you don't have that ongoing relationship every week with your success partner or anybody else, they're going to write up a binder and give it to you, and you're going to be dusting it off in about 6 months. That didn't help you one bit. But you can be caused to constantly focus on moving forward, then you will benefit from it. When I tell you you're going to benefit from it, let me throw some numbers at you. First of all, the initial consultation with someone coming in for basically 2 days is less than $2,000. They come in and create that action plan with you. That alone will create enough focus and identify enough issues and give you enough solutions that it will more than pay for itself. Typically, people who are using our accounting department will end up paying somewhere between 1/2 and 1/3 for all of their bookkeeping of what they're currently paying. In other words, whatever it is they currently have an employee out there for half that amount or less, you're going to get better service. There's not going to be any vacations. There's not going to be any sicknesses. There's not going to be any turnover. There's not going to be any of the crap that stands in your way on the accounting side that stops you from doing it. And you will have regularly produced the reports that you need in operations and in sales. We are in some smaller companies for less than $500 a month. We are in larger companies for about $3,000 a month. And we're talking there if there's huge amounts of transactions and a larger deal. Stop and think what an employee costs there. So right there, you can more than pay for what you do. The ongoing consulting, the weekly Zoom every week that you schedule, that creates the focus and lays out, is $295 a month. Now, you can afford this, and it makes a difference. And you can stop anytime you want. Right now, we will actually throw in a free month of your accounting. There's no reason for you not to give us a call. Take a look at our website at tfginfo.org. Give us a call, 303-338-9300. Send us an email, admin@tfginfo.org. Visit our Patreon site, which is our blog. Or take a look at us on Facebook. We've been there for 20 years. We're going to continue. And that ongoing relationship will have a huge impact on your business. We've had clients talk about how their complete lives have been changed. It's time you take advantage of what you have built, get the return that you deserve, and have a quality of life that's there. tfg360 will coordinate your management system, release you from your management constraints, and do it for half what you're spending already. Give us a call. Thank you for listening to us. We wish you the best, and we hope to hear from you.